Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I hope you all are doing well. My name is David, and I'll be your lovely host for this evening. So today I was thinking about talking about kind of my introduction and how I got into witchcraft. And let me just say that I'm going way out of my comfort zone uh, by posting a video. I've never done anything like that before. Um, I have a lot of great people that have encouraged me the past couple days, and so I've definitely just thought I would try it out. So let's just jump right into it. So I grew up in a really Abrahamic, religious, modern Christian household. At least with my grandmother, she was highly a Christian woman. We went to church every Sunday and Wednesday for as long as I could remember. And I didn't really think about like how that would affect me in the future, but it most definitely did. The church was always like welcoming, but like we had a few LGBT members, and which I now am part of the LGBT community. I'm gay, if you didn't know, and they just weren't that welcoming in the end as I thought they were. It was very like, oh, you're welcome here, but you can't like be a part of any of the classes that we teach, or it was very exclusion. They were just very excluded. Um, and I don't know how that made me feel. I definitely look back on it and I think, wow, like that's really not right. But I think being raised in a Christian household definitely had major impacts on me when I started getting into the craft. Especially after my grandma died, the one that I went to church with every Sunday and Wednesday. It was very like, how would she feel about me doing this? So I had a lot of like guilt, remorse, grief, like not knowing like how she would feel or what she would think, even though I know like she loved me no matter what. I think that's just part of it, and um, just something I think in general people feel when a family member passes away and they're like, oh, I wonder what they would think. Um, so my witchcraft journey really started when I was about 11 or 12, which is right around the time after my grandma died. And then I didn't go to church anymore. So I kind of started getting into some other stuff. So I definitely started in Wicca, which I know for some is very controversial. But I started when I was about 11 or 12, maybe 13. I was at the public library in my hometown, and I went down the nonfiction section, the paranormal section or something, and I found, like Scott Cunningham's books. And I checked them out. My mom was like, yeah, like my mom never cared. She's very open. Um, and I read them and began, setting up my altar and whatnot. And let me just say that my Wicca altar was a damn TV dinner tray, like old style, with like a white sheet that I like painted, like hand painted, and some candle holders and whatnot that I like took from my mom. It was very, I don't know what's the word, but it was interesting for sure. Um, but I was into that for a few years. Didn't really like practice because I was like, I feel like the concepts as like at 11, 12, or 13-year old, I was like way in over my head. I was like, what am I doing? Like I don't know what I'm doing. Um and then I feel like my Christian upbringing like definitely impacted like how I felt, because it was very like, because I was so close with my other family members that were Christian, and they're like, oh, you shouldn't be doing that, you shouldn't be doing this, you're gonna invite something in, blah blah blah. You know, the usual run of the mill Christian folk of my family at least. But once I got into high school, I'd say like senior year, so I'm like 17, 18, um, that I really actually started getting into um, what I would say more now is actual like witchcraft. It all started like I always had those like when I was little. I would always me and my best friend would always be making like potions out of like dirt and mud and berries and like random stuff that we found outside. Probably not the safest thing ever that we were, you know, mixing chemicals and stuff sometimes, but we were making potions and that's all that mattered. Um, and then I was always big in the plants. I'm still big in the plants. I have some herbalism certifications. I love plants. I love medicine making, all that sort of thing. Um, so I practiced on and off for a few years, starting like when I was 17 or 18, around there. Um, and then I feel like when COVID hit, and then everyone like I feel like witch talk like exploded, and then you had like that new age witchery and whatnot, and it just wasn't for me. I feel like there's just so much controversy on there, and I think everyone can say that. It's a lot of like he said, she said, they said sort of thing. Too much drama to be on there, to be honest. But as far as like where I am now in my practice is definitely I've grown so much, even though like I've practiced on and off. Um, it wasn't up until about a year or two ago, maybe 3 years ago, that I actually started like actively practicing, um, which is nice. So I was more just like eclectic, like pull from here, pull from there, just kind of trying to like put my own practice together. But in my opinion, like I still needed like a backbone to build my practice on, and I feel like I didn't have that backbone. And then last year I joined the Red Thread Academy, um, which was really great. Sorry, got a phone call. Go away, bro. Anyway, I joined the Red Thread Academy, and I have loved it ever since. I'm not being paid or endorsed to say anything about the Red Thread Academy. I just really enjoy it. I feel like it gave me that backbone to my practice that I needed, and it's definitely guided me in a direction that I want to be on for a while, and I really want to do, you know, all 3 years of the courses that are offered. That oh my goodness, I can't talk. Wow, that are offered, and I really want to see what else it has to offer in the future. I think it's been great. It's definitely given me a new look on how I need to be dedicated to my practice a lot more, um, and whatnot, which is really nice. I would say like before the Red Thread Academy, I was more like kitchen witchery slash like green witch, I guess you'd say, if you want to put a label on it. Um, I love to bake. I love to cook, and I'm gonna be honest. When I bake, it's like a science. Like I feel like you mess one thing up, and the whole thing is just gonna get ruined. But I definitely love to bake for the Sabbats and whatnot. That's probably my favorite thing to do. But some of my experiences that I kind of want to talk about, besides like being in the Red Thread Academy, is just like from my experience, um, being what they call like an armchair witch, or just like reading and reading and reading material, but not actually practicing the material. I definitely feel like that's something that it's so easy to get caught up in, and you don't want to like fall into that hole. Like knowledge is power, and you're always going to be learning more. Because like so many practitioners say, like it is a crooked path, it's a spiral path. It, you know, you could come full circle back into something you thought you knew, but you really didn't know. until you read more on it. And then you kind of just got to practice to make it perfect, but it's never going to be perfect. Um, so I definitely think actually doing the work is something that a lot of people struggle with, because maybe they're scared. Honestly, I think that was a big part for me when I was starting out. Is I was so scared about like what would my grandmother think, like what would my dad think, what would my mom think, what would my sister think, what would my partner think, about this, and just kind of like how society perceives me. Honestly, I've been working on myself for the past year or two, and I've made myself step out of my comfort zone so much. And I think that my craft has definitely been a part of that, making me step out of my comfort zone. And I feel like every time I do, it's just a form of empowerment, and it's kind of taking my own power back. Because honestly, I don't give a damn what people think. I don't. I really could not care less. Like, but anyway, that's just one thing I think is definitely do the work. Um, some other experiences I've had, especially like since being in the RTA, I feel like that when I perform like spell work or something of that nature, I feel like I've gotten better results. Um, too. Like I feel like I'm putting since I've joined RTA, like I've put more effort into my practice as opposed to when I was just like kind of throwing my own practice together, in general, which is totally okay if you do. Like you got to start somewhere. But like I said, RTA has definitely helped me. Um, like especially like during like dedication rituals, no, rituals. Like for the RTA, like I definitely like I had my moment where I felt like so empowered. It was like the most empowered I've ever felt as a witch. Um, and it was so creepy because like you could totally feel like I could feel it felt like a hand just like resting on my shoulder, like welcoming me home. Um, which is really it was scary, but like I loved it. You know, like you get scared of some things. I don't know. I get scared all the time. I get scared when like lightning. Like I'm just jumpy, okay? I'm just a girl, okay? Um but anyway, but that being said, like there's definitely things like even though I've been on and off doing things since I was like 11, 12, 13 around there, like there's definitely things like I still struggle with. I don't know everything. I'm never gonna know everything. But there's definitely things that I struggle with as a witch. I'm gonna be honest. I struggle with meditation and spirit work. So like it's something that I work on. I've been working on. But honestly, like the experience I have cannot talk. The experiences I have had with spirit work, are usually while I'm sleeping, and they're like really I can distinguish them from like regular dreaming versus like like witch flight or something like that. But it's definitely like still a struggle. Working on like spirit work, and I mean, what I'm basically saying is that it's okay. Like you're going to struggle with certain concepts. You're going to struggle with certain um things in the craft, and it's a craft because you have to keep practicing it, and if you don't keep practicing it, you're not going to get any better. um I think that's something that I had to learn the hard way because I thought like, oh, I'm a witch, it'll just all come to me when I need it. And no, like I had to put in the work, and I'm still putting in the work. And I think I've been getting decent results since I've been putting in the work. There's definitely so many good books out there on like psychic abilities, spirit work. There's good YouTube channels. There's good everything. But another thing is also like procrastination. Like if you say, like I know, like you come home from work, say it's like 4. I get off at 4. I get off work at 4, and say it's like a Sabbath day or something, and I'm at work, and then I get home. Like, girl, I'm tired. Like I walk like 10, 12 miles a day at work. I'm tired. Um, and there's been days, I'll be honest, like I've been like, I don't want to do that. Like I want to go to bed. And honestly, like I feel like for me, like each time that I would just shrug off like a Sabbath or like a full moon ritual or just anything, like I'm being lazy and I'm not putting in the effort into my craft. So I feel like I'm not going to get the experiences and the results that I want. Um so even like when you're tired, like just do it. Like even if it's a full moon, just go out and sit under the moon and like I know this sounds weird and I've done it before. Just go and like talk to the moon and like have a discussion like with like the moon. I know that sounds weird, but I've totally done it before. Um there's literally like millions of simple things you can do um for full moon rituals, Sabbats, anything like that. Um and another thing, like I saw a video by Taya Kennedy, and she like mentions that people tend to like car- compartmentalize like their lives and their craft. So they're like, oh, like I'm going to do this then, this here, and I'm gonna do this witchy thing at this time, and that's it. And then she really like describes like you should really integrate it all together to where it's kind of like it runs smooth. um, and just like stirring intentions in your drinks, centering and grounding every day, like when you wake up, um, listening to witchy podcasts when you can, like when you're like she does when she's walking her dog, or like if you're going on a drive or something, put one on your wow, what is that thing called? Your radio thing. Wow, I feel so stupid right now. Um, I listen to witchy podcasts and witchy videos all day while I'm at work. I'm not supposed to. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not supposed to have headphones in, but I'm gonna be honest. I'd be listening to Taya Kennedy. I'd be listening to Jasmine Ambrosia, because I love both their videos. Oh my goodness. Um, I just turn it, and even then, that turns into like a little like because I was always like very scared to like be like show that I'm like a witch like out in public, like not out of the broom. Like I am out of the broom closet. Like I don't care. I'll tell anyone. Um, but like it's like just those little things. Like it feels empowering when you're doing something like in public. That's kind of like I wouldn't say listening to a witchy podcast is blasphemous, but like I'm at work like listening and like Jasmine's talking about like something on her channel and I'm at work like hee hee I'm listening to witchcraft stuff and nobody knows all these people around me and I don't know I know that's stupid but like I love it. um so definitely like some other experiences I've had is definitely like I feel that some of my spell work has definitely changed. I mean, we're talking like I feel like I started out with some really basic spell work, which is completely okay because you should start out with the basics. Of course, like your foundational practices like cleansing, banishing, protection, wards, tethering, that sort of thing, obviously. Um, and I definitely feel like I've had some things rebound. Like I've had I don't know what I did, but girl, I took this candle. Like this candle was freaking huge. And I feel like I put so much energy into this candle. So much. This candle legit exploded. There was nothing wrong with the candle. I've had others just like it. This thing just exploded. Like the side of it, like it exploded. And I was like, okay, that was a flop. Um, but honestly, like for me, um, yeah, obviously, like you should do your protections, your cleansings, your banishments, your wards and stuff. But honestly, for me, like I ain't gonna lie, I kind of just fuck around and find out. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it backfires, and I pay the price for it. Um, like when first spell I did with since being an RTA, one of the first spells was a road opener slash like a path clearing, like get like if it isn't in my life to serve me, like eat it the hell out. Let me tell you, that threw me for a loop. Like I'm talking like I did the spell and like maybe like a few weeks later, like a month later, with that, like girl, I found out so much stuff. Like I found out like my ex-boyfriend was like cheating on me. Um I found out some bad things about my job that I was working at. Um it was a mess. And I was living in Noblesville, Indiana at the time, which if you know from Indiana, that's like rich bitch territory, but I was not a rich bitch, I promise you. Um but yeah, like it threw my whole life like upside down. Like I had to move back in with my mom. Um and I moved back to Terre Haute. But like it also brought like positives with it. Like I got a new job, a better job. Um I had money, like things were just better like after all that happened. And I definitely think that the spell work I did definitely influenced that or made everything come to light because let me tell you like I packed all my things, got my boyfriend, and rented a U-Haul and moved back home all in a day, all in 24 hours. I was like, we're done. I was like, I'm so done. Um, it was definitely an experience. Um, so yeah, that's me. Nothing too crazy. I hope you guys watch the video. Um, I just wanted to basically make a video, an introduction video about me with my experiences, kind of what I've been doing. And basically just to say like just because you're struggling with something or you can't get like you don't understand or can't grasp a certain aspect of the craft, don't feel like you're less of a witch because of that because you're not. And I think TikTok and Witch Talk makes it seem like that you are like you have to work with deities, you have to do spirit work, you have to do the. Let me say that like self empowerment comes first, and your power is coming from you. Get your power from you, and then maybe go seek out other spirits, and then get those foundational practices down. I promise you'll be set. You'll be set. Um, and for people that definitely like struggle or have like Abrahamic trauma, um, yeah, I know it's hard to work through. It still gets to me sometimes. Um, Honestly, something I did, this is gonna sound terrible, but like I remember being in church. And I'm talking like I'm like 10, like 8, 9, 10, something like that. Girl, I literally remember saying, I was like, well, God ain't answering my prayers. Bitch, I was in the church praying to Satan, and I'm talking about like the Christian Satan. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna change sides, and I got issues. Um, I was like, I'm gonna change sides. Um, so yeah, I'd be in church like everyone else praying to Jesus and God or whoever, and I'm like Satan, make Grandma get me McDonald's today. Like, what is wrong with me? But like after that, like especially lately, like I definitely worked through it, and I know like no matter what, like my grandma, she definitely would have still loved me no matter what. She may not have agreed, but she definitely would have accepted me just as I am. Um, even though she was like a heavily Christian woman. Um, and I think that it's definitely something that's hard to work through, and I can't speak for everyone. I can only speak for myself. But um, one way like I did that, like I basically I was never baptized, but like I know in pop culture, like in Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, they did like a dark baptism per se. Um, I'll be honest, I've done something like that. Um, just to kind of like make it like the unholy baptism. You know what I'm saying? But I did that before my dedication ritual for the RTA, and honestly, like I felt so free after that. Like I know it was more like that's probably more symbolic than anything, but like I definitely felt more free. I just kind of renounced like Christianity and like I don't know how to describe it, but like it was a very like freeing experience for me. And definitely I felt free of all like a lot of the issues that I had um like from my upbringing. But yeah, that's really it for me today. I really hope you guys maybe stick around. Feel free to leave comments. Ask me any questions you want. Like I don't care, I will answer them. Um, I know this video is more of an introduction slash like my experiences. I've definitely thought about making it into like a vlog experience of where like I won't show you guys like everything I do, but maybe like some things that I do or like my experiences with things I've done. Because I feel like most videos are geared towards like education, like most witch talk videos or witch videos, like witchy videos. Oh my god, um, are geared towards more like education, that sort of thing, like what you should do, what you shouldn't do, blah blah blah. Um, and sometimes I feel like a lot of people like don't post like their actual experiences with stuff. Like, cause I'll be the first one to tell you. I'll be like, if it like, if I do something and it flops, like it flopped. Like, we just try again. Um, but yeah, it was really nice talking to you guys. Honestly, I was a nervous wreck throughout all this, and I hope you guys will subscribe, come back, leave comments on the videos, ask me any questions you want. So yeah, bye guys.